Don Westfall, Dan McCarger back in downtown Mankato for the last time this weekend. And the Mavericks, as you just heard from Coach Hastings, it doesn't necessarily always come easy, but points in this league, home or away, can be very hard to get. In the Mavericks, 4 games to open up WCHA play, and they got 8 points on the board, 4 straight wins.
You can't do any better than that. And the way the season starts, you have 3 games where you don't score. You're starting to wonder, but you get in conference play, you take care of business on the road, take care of business at home. It was a struggle tonight. I don't think there's any question. It was not the game that I expected after last night's game, but the Mavericks persevered. They came from behind. They got the game-tying goal. They got the game-winning goal in the third period, and that's all I can really ask for.
And the nice thing is, when your team's struggling a little bit, you're going to have to rely on some upperclassmen, and guess who scores the goals? Last night it was 3 defensemen getting 4 goals, but tonight it's your upperclassmen in Knowles and Bluger, the tying goal and the game-winning goal by Knowles.
Bluger on the power play with just a great wrist shot, and then a great pass from Bluger to Knowles for the game-winning goal, and Knowles had to go down to his knee to shoot that one from the dot on the left of the goaltender. So, yeah, the big guys that you want at the right time. And go back to the first period. Here's how the game got started. Mullally from Woods and Munson at 9:31 makes it 1-0. That's up for quite some time. That was good through the first period. And then we'll head on to the second period, where the Mavericks tied up on the goal from Teddy Bluger. Bluger from Nelson and Brickley. He rips one off there at 8:03, and that ties the game at 1. And we sit through the rest of the second period till we get into the third period, and the Mavericks finally gain the lead, their first and only lead, and it held up. It's a pass to Brett Knowles from Bluger at 12:45. Gervais with an assist as well, and that's all the scoring in the game. The Mavericks win 2-1, Don.
Big, and there you see the goal. Knowles fires one through as Gervais had led him up the ice. And the Mavericks with 4 consecutive wins to open up WCHA play here in the season. And as you mentioned, while it might not have been crisp and sharp, nonetheless, the Mavericks able to pull through with the victory. As we take a look at our game stats for tonight, and again, shots on goal, Mavericks dominate. Face-offs, and I was glad, we were bringing it up as we were weeding through the last minute and a half. And yeah, there were a lot of face-offs, and the Mavericks won just about every one. And those, you don't necessarily talk about a whole lot, but we mentioned it to Coach as well. Crunch time again, you're going to send your best guy out there. Teddy Bluger had to win at least a half dozen.
Well, you look at the Minnesota Wild. Mikko Koivu takes all the big face-offs, and he wins all the big face-offs. Bluger took all the big face-offs, he wins. Well, guess who goes out the dot again when the game is on the line? You're going to send out the guy who's going to win the face-off for you, because that means control. That means not allowing the team that's trying to catch up to have the puck. And so he did a great job down the stretch, and that was a big part of this game.
Our JBL play of the game, and this one is going to be pretty easy to pick out, because we were talking that this thing was lasting a little bit too long. We were both getting a little uncomfortable. We stood for everything in the third period until we come up with our JBL play of the game, and that's going to be the game winner, scored by Brett Knowles. JBL top 4 play of the game. JBL Real Estate Group does the little things that make a big difference, and a big difference tonight. That top line, they were special all weekend.
Bluger to Gervais to Knowles there, they really were. But Mike Hastings talks about that. Will our big guys be our big guys? And their big guys were their big guys. And if that's the case, you usually have a pretty good chance to win, and they did it tonight.
Let's take a look at some out-of-town scores as well before we close out our broadcast for tonight and the weekend. And again, we'll take a look at what's happened around the WCHA. We'll take a look at what's happened in the Upper Midwest.
Ferris State beats Tech tonight 3-2. Northern Michigan beat Bemidji 3-1. Huntsville with their first road sweep since 2009. They beat Superior State tonight 5-0. Anchorage upsets Bowling Green 4-2. UMass Lowell over Duluth 6-3. St. Cloud over Miami 3-1. And in other scores, Denver loses to Boston in overtime. It's Western Michigan over Nebraska Omaha for a weekend sweep, 6-1 there. Wisconsin survives Arizona State 2-1. They get the sweep. North Dakota is leading Colorado in the second. Robert Morris over Michigan 4-0. And Providence down Colgate 4-3.
And again, our score here from downtown Mankato, a 2-1 win for the Mavericks. The Mavericks now, again, unblemished in WCHA play. And now they have a couple of big tests. As you mentioned, you heard from the coach, only one of the next 6 games are going to be at home. Next weekend, a really tough road test going out to Ferris State.
They're playing very well. It's always a tough place to play, and Mavericks are coming in with some good momentum, though. So we'll hopefully go there, and hopefully you go in healthy. We're not sure what the situation is with Mullins. Not sure what the situation is after the game tonight. So we'll find out with some of the players. But go in healthy and come out. You want to go there, at least get one over the weekend.
And as big as that series will be up at Big Rapids, Michigan, our next action here on a Maverick Hockey Weekend, the 13th of November, and it's the Mavericks and the Gophers from downtown Mankato. And obviously this place is going to be excited. And at that time, depending on how the Mavericks do, maybe they sneak back into national rankings and things like that. But it's one of those games that even though they're no longer conference rivals, it's just an in-state thing, but a lot of pride on the ice. And certainly in recent years, now it's the Mavericks who have the better of the handle over the Gophers.
And the Gophers are a very young team this year. They have 10 freshmen that they are relying on. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But Mavericks got some business to take up before that weekend comes up, and then you got the home and home with the Gophers. And I got a feeling, even though there'll be Gopher fans in the crowd on Friday night, there'll be Maverick fans up in the crowd at Mariucci on Saturday night.
I would believe so. Again, Friday the 13th, a little scary here on Halloween night, Friday the 13th. But the Mavericks and the Gophers from downtown Mankato, the pregame show at 6:30, and then again, we'll be on air 7:07, the face-off from the Verizon Wireless Center. Again, tonight's final score, it was Minnesota State 2, Alaska 1. The Mavericks get the sweep of the weekend series. For Dan McCarter and Don Westfall and the rest of the students from Bethany Lutheran College, we thank you for watching. We will see you in 2 weeks.